Come on, good boy, Daddy.
Morning, ponies! Hello, Mr. Pumpkin. Everyone, it's Molly Riversea, and today I'm going to be taking one of my clients' young horses, Pumpkin, out cross-country schooling for the very first time. We'll be heading to Golden Hills as they have all types of courses there that are great for your green 5-year-old to your 5-star eventer, so it's going to be perfect to start Pumpkin off there. Without further ado though, let's get this handsome boy ready. Before we headed out, we went down to the round pen, but can we first just admire how stunning this horse is? Pumpkin's an impressive 16'2" hands high at 6 years old. So he's just kind of figuring his legs out and starting to put on some muscle. He's got that highly sought after uphill build, which makes him the perfect eventing prospect, and he has such a beautiful head on him thanks to his breeding. His mom and dad are both incredibly successful in their disciplines, and I don't doubt he's got a bright future as well. First things first, I gave him a little groundwork session on the lunge line. Pumpkin's just getting back into work after having some time off, so I've been making sure to work a little lunging exercise into his routines, especially before our rides. I find it really gets him engaged and focused, and it also helps to get any sort of bucks out because I don't really want to wait and see if he has that in him when I'm out cross country. I also don't feel like it's fair to him if I'm riding him and he's just got loads of pent up energy, especially since he hadn't been turned out this particular morning because it was, at least it felt like, the crack of dawn. He was looking fantastic for this part, super supple and forward. Just look at that expressive trot. Overall, such a good boy despite giving me a few bucks and bursts of energy here and there. Once he got a nice warm-up in and a bit of his crazies out, I gave him a quick once over with the brush and knee-tinned him up a bit so we would be looking somewhat put together out there. Sometimes he can be a bit skeptical about going in the trailer, but he was pretty chilled thanks to his lunging workout, so he didn't raise any questions while loading today. Then out of the blue, literally out of the beautiful blue sky, it randomly started raining, which was not something I was anticipating, but luckily it dried up pretty quickly after it started. I was just hoping it wouldn't make the grounds too slippery. Once we made it to Golden Leaf, I put my hair up and I of course had to get my cross-country gear on. I had completely forgotten to bring my air vest for this session, so I just put on my old cross-country body protector, which wasn't ideal, but it would hopefully do the job, and then of course popped my helmet on, safety first, and then I tacked Pumpkin up in this little matchy tangerine set that I got from the purple pony at the Yorvik City Mall. I can't tell if the orange on him is or isn't his color, but either way, he didn't seem to mind. Pumpkin is only 6, so he can be a bit babyish when he reacts to his surroundings. There were some bushes that the wind was kind of rustling through, so he thought that something was gonna jump out of them and eat him, but after a few snorts, he was brave enough to get over that fear. He's quite a quick learner, and he's so good at picking up on things as long as you have a gentle and sure presence as his rider. As I was saying, this is actually his first time out cross-country schooling. He's dabbled with some arena jumps and obstacles over at the Yorvik stables, but he really hasn't done much else besides that. So it's gonna be my job to introduce him to this entirely new thing. You might be hearing all this and thinking, well, Molly, you really should have brought your air vest. And yes, in hindsight, probably would have been worthwhile to turn the trailer around and get it, but you just never really expect anything to happen. Although when you're working with horses, I suppose, anything can happen at any time. Anyways, that's besides the point. So I just took him and did an informal warm-up, which means that we warmed up on the cross-country grounds instead of in an arena. It was his first time doing this, and I was pretty impressed with how sure of himself he was. The main goal of today was just to get him out there, get him some experience outside of the Cosmic Equestrian Center's schooling facilities. We have a lovely cross-country course, but there definitely is quite a different feel to hauling out and riding rather than just being on your home grounds. So this is Pumpkin's first outing cross-country off property, so we're just gonna begin by doing some trot jumps to warm him up, get him desensitized to these natural obstacles. We're gonna pop over these lower level jumps behind me that are well below what he's been jumping, and they're good ways apart, so he has plenty of time to collect himself up in between. It's really important to start off small and easy, especially with these young horses horses who still have that baby brain just so they don't get sour in the future when it comes to jumping. Alright, back to voiceover me. He had a couple wiggly lines as he was giving these weird looking jumps some serious side eye. He was probably like, these jumps aren't meant to be out here in the middle of nowhere, and to that I say fair. For the most part, he's been trained in stadium jumping, so he's only really had experience with brightly colored sticks pretty much in an arena. As you all can see, he was way over jumping these by a couple feet. I kept getting popped out of the saddle. He was really testing my seat today, to say the least. I just had to make sure I was sitting up nice and tall. With some time and patience, he was getting more and more sure of himself. I always do something until it's boring, especially with the babies, just to get them that confidence so they know you're not going to throw something crazy tricky at them. And the hope with that is when we move up a level, he can carry that confidence and be more apt to trying something new and be more sure of himself as he does. He was really keen on these fences at a trot, so eventually we picked it up to a canter, started off just going over a single, and I don't even think he noticed the gait change, honestly. He was in such a pleasant headspace, really listening to my leg and aids. Then I gave him a bit more of a challenge with this double combination that we had done at a trot. He did break on me up to this one fence. Like I said, he's been out of work for some time, so his endurance needs some building up. But once he gets that muscle, he'll be more than fit enough for courses like this. The next time around, got him in a nice forward canter, and he went around with much better impulsion this time, got over both of them really nicely. I also decided to do a walkthrough of our course to kind of get some sort of game plan. I hadn't looked into exactly what fences we'd be going through that day. I really thought it was important to map out our route so I could be confident in where I was going, and hopefully Pumpkin would feed off of that. Then it was time to go through the course I planned out. We picked it up to an even slow gallop because in this event, speed is really the name of the game, and he was catching on pretty quickly, so I figured he was ready for that next step up. We didn't go at a flat out gallop because that's not really the point of schooling. It's more about the technical stuff. And then when we're at home, we can go in hacks and do hill work to work on that fitness element. With the youngsters, I like to keep them at a consistent, steady speed, keep my reins quite short, and put them a little bit deeper to the fences just to give them a chance to see it. I didn't want to just book it through with him because we try to avoid any bad experiences that will stick with a horse throughout their training. We try. At first, he was a bit looky to the fences, but as he went along, he got to a point where he didn't even have to do any double takes, just went straight on. We got to jump a few combinations that were a little bit technical, but he listened really well to me. When I asked him to whoa and sit up and sort of sit back, he was like, okay, will do, rather than just rushing off on me, so I'm super pleased with that and how attentive to my cues he was throughout the whole course. That was really awesome. For a newly turned 6-year-old, I couldn't have asked for more. He was just so clever and being so brave to some super tough questions out there. Our second go-through was when things started going astray. He was pulling the reins out of my hand, getting a little rushy here, so I just told him to slow his roll, basically sit back, relax, and he did quite the opposite. This is when he started getting away from me, cantering off as he was just being so strong. We love a bold cross-country horse, but this was just him getting strong on me and throwing whatever I was trying to communicate with him out the window. I don't know what came over him. I will say, looking back on this footage, I can hear the wind picking up a bit, so possibly he was getting a bit spicy because of that, and I just didn't notice because I was lost in the moment and fixated on what he was doing, but I really wanted to end our session off on a good note, so I kept him going, just looking for one right answer from him so we could just call it a day and go home on a high note. Unfortunately, that high note would never come because, well, just watch the footage, I guess.
Daddy, good boy. Easy. Strong on me. Good boy. Take it easy. Easy. Pumpkin. Oh, you were. Good boy. Boy. Easy. Slow your roll. Easy, Pumpkin. There you go. Hey, easy, Pumpkin. Easy. Oh, shoot.
Hey. Oh my gosh. Are you okay? Stay right there. I'll go get help. Thank goodness I wasn't alone on the cross-country course that day, and there was another guy riding out when he had heard a crash and rushed over to see if I was okay. She's over here. Thanks for your help, Erin. I'll go get her. There you are. Hey, how's your head? I guess it kind of feels like I have a headache. Okay, anything else hurt? Just super sore. And do you know where your horse ran off to? I think I saw him run up that hill. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get him for you. Jessica, the owner of the Golden Leaf Stables, came to save the day. She made sure that Pumpkin and I were both going to be okay. I was so concerned that Pumpkin would go run off and find himself in trouble with some wolves and other potentially dangerous wildlife, as there is lots of that in the Golden Hills area. Thank goodness the little gremlin didn't go too far. She said he was busy grazing and was super easy to catch when she went up to him. At least he didn't seem to be fazed by the whole ordeal. That I am thankful for. And once I was taken care of, she helped me untack Pumpkin and get him situated for the trailer ride home. She put his halter and shipping boots on and even went as far as to drive me home, which I was incredibly grateful for, as I was not in the headspace to drive, especially with the horse in the trailer. Seriously, do not know what I would have done without her. Well, I guess that just happened. I was going on such a good streak too. I haven't fallen off in like a year, but I guess that's just how it goes with horses. You never really know what's in store for you. I'm feeling okay. Just have some bruising, cuts, and scuffs from the fall, as well as what I think is a mild concussion, but that's the worst of it. And of course, it's the one time I didn't bring my air vest cross-country schooling. Live and learn, I suppose. But he was super clever at the beginning there. Still not sure what happened near the end. Maybe the wind was picking up. Acclimate weather and young horses in training aren't always the best combo. But he was starting to get strong, so when I was trying to pull him back, he completely took over, and when he refused, I just wasn't strong enough in my core and way too far forward, so I just took a little tumble over his head. He was such a good boy. Didn't bomb off when I came down. He kind of just took a few steps back and was like, well, why'd you do that? And then, of course, ran off to graze. And I guess this sounds weird, but I'm actually quite happy with that schooling round. I mean, not where it ended up, which was on the ground. Never a good sign. But despite the fall, I'm really proud of Pumpkin for handling the chaos so well today. So here's to more exciting adventures ahead with Pumpkin. Hopefully, in the future, we won't end up on the ground. You had quite the day. You definitely deserve this turnout time. Bye, buddy! Well, I hope you all enjoyed the video. It was quite the wild ride, no kidding. Subscribe to stay tuned. There will be lots more adventures at the Cosmic Equestrian Center to come. Also, if you'd like, sign up to Star Stable through my link below to support the channel. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye, everyone!